Welcome to Talk to the Entities by Shannon O'Hara, narrated by Max Zoulek.
Hi, this is Shannon O'Hara, and welcome to my first book, Talk to the Entities. I'm so excited that you're going to be listening to the stories that I have to tell about being aware, growing up, seeing, hearing ghosts, and how the tools of access consciousness completely revolutionized the way that I was able to deal with that. This book is going to be read by my amazing husband, Max Zoulek. I'm too dyslexic to read an audiobook, so I hope you enjoy his beautiful voice and the stories within. What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to facilitate the expansion and growth of consciousness with everything that you're willing to know, everything that you're willing to be aware of? And what have you always known that is now time to know?
Prologue. It has been 4.5 years since this book first stepped into the world and started creating a voice for itself. In all the time I was creating it, I never really got what a huge impact it would have in the world and all the people's lives it would touch, including my own. I knew I needed to tell my story in hopes that it would show others that there was a totally different possibility in the world and they might not be as fucked up as they thought they were. I did not know at the time this book would accomplish that, but it has certainly shown me by now. I have received so much gratitude from people saying that they finally get what they have been perceiving all their lives and making themselves crazy about, finally having peace, clarity, and ease with the fact that they are aware of the spirit world. Others have told me that just by reading the book, their perceptions of entities have been greatly enhanced, as though the book itself was a doorway they stepped through into their own abilities. Talk to the Entities has grown up a lot over the last 4.5 years and continues to expand, touching and changing more and more people's, embodied and disembodied, lives. We now have worldwide Talk to the Entities facilitators who are out there showing people the amazing, easy, and effective tools and processes of Talk to the Entities and Access Consciousness. Showing people how to get over fear and confusion around entities, access their deep awareness, and touch worlds of possibility that only 50 years ago would have been considered impossible or only a fairy tale. I know myself and many of the Talk to the Entities facilitators are working towards a future where fear of entities is in the long-distant past, where the superstitions, hysteria, and impotency regarding the spirit world is the exception and not the norm. I personally would love to see a future where spirit consciousness was known and dealt with, and the tools of access consciousness and Talk to the Entities were used in all sorts of educational platforms to empower people. Also, to see it being used within psychiatric institutions to educate rather than medicate. I would love to see a future where the spirit world came out of the shadows and was exposed to the light so that all could see and know the peace and ease that could be there. No longer fearing death as the end. No longer deeply judging those that hear the voices of the spirit world. And no longer hiding the keys to awareness that would and will set so many free. If this is your first time reading or listening to this book, I hope you enjoy it, and perhaps a few light bulbs will go off and you may find a few keys to unlocking your own world. And if you are reading or listening to this book again, perhaps you will use those keys to go deeper into what you know. How does it get better, and what more is possible with the tools of consciousness firmly in your hands? Introduction. There I was, sitting at a table in the rainforest in Costa Rica with my friend Tonya and her recently deceased sister. Yes, that's right, her dead sister. My friend was visibly distressed and emotional. She missed her twin sister terribly. I could see that Tonya's sister was sitting at the table with us. She was in the chair directly across from me, but to Tonya, her sister was as invisible and undetectable as clear air. Oh, excuse me. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Shannon O'Hara, and I see dead people. There are people on this planet that hear, see, talk with, and acknowledge entities. I am one of those people. I have been communicating with entities my whole life. In this book, I'll tell you about the times my
Sample complete. Ready to continue?